Hi again. So, this is the continuation of the Villains Explained, and I realized after finishing the video that I actually forgot to do a character. So, before we go to number 5, I'm going to go back to the one that I missed, which is Orochimaru from Naruto. And if you don't know what Naruto is, you have been under a rock. I hate to say it, but you have been under a rock so hard that you somehow was able to avoid everything for this. Because Orochimaru is the overall villain of the show. He is basically the one that everyone is afraid of. He can take almost anyone, and he can basically reincarnate himself into other people's bodies so he can continue on living, which is what he does, and which is why he tries to carry out his most recent plan, which was to try and get Sasuke. But I chose Orochimaru not only because he's the overall villain, and his powers with the snakes, reincarnation, making curses, but also because he is an evil genius. What I mean by that is he basically has like a lab kind of set up for experiments and all that, and has caused a lot of people to be in pain and to even die. And to go to such great lengths for yourself only, you don't really have any overall goal other than to be the most powerful. That is exactly what a villain is. He's low on the list just because I really don't like him that much. He's great to play in a video game, but other than that, I'm not a big fan of Orochimaru. But anyway, to continue on to number 5, Sachiko Shinozaki from Corpse Party. Corpse Party started off as a game, and then into a manga series, and then it has its own anime adaptation, which is Corpse Party Tortured Souls. In my opinion, it was kind of a poor adaptation because it should have been much longer to really explain everything. But if they had to wrap it up in a sort of short explanation, they basically did a good job. And I think the horror element is definitely there by far means. And I picked Sachiko because she is so far one of the villains on this list who probably had the worst past, in my opinion, just because she is the only dead character on this list. Hopefully I'm not making a mistake. Yeah, no, she's the only dead character on this list. And actually, no, I did make a mistake. Sorry. I am so sorry. There is one other person on this list who is actually dead, but Sachiko is a ghost. The other one is the evil witch, an immortal evil witch, but kind of just was able to reincarnate herself into something different. Sachiko is a ghost out for revenge for her mother's sake, where she doesn't want her mom to be lonely. But after a while, she turns to her own evil content and just murders people anyway. Not only that, she will trap people in her old elementary school, which is now in like the ghostly bound world. And she has her servants who will kill innocent people who made a mistake through enchantment. And the way you get to the school is by doing the Sachiko chant, and if you mess that up, you will be sent here. No matter how you mess it up, you will be sent to this place with basically no way to escape. And the only way that you can is if you die, but you are basically kind of trapped there. Either way, she is a tiny, tiny girl. She's the youngest person on this list, I can say that. And she is a tiny girl with her own minions, out for blood, and I can't help but love her because of it. But what caused her to do this is such a bad, well, not bad, but sad backstory of hers, of how she became a ghost and why she's trying to help her mother. But that is one thing that I am not spoiling for you. So, there we go. But before I move on, in the first part, I mentioned that Slide 4 and Slide 2 have major spoilers on them. So if you would like to skip to 3 and 1, please do that. Because right now, the next slide will definitely be... It was a huge kick in the ass for me. And I was like, man, because I'll explain it to you, but I'll give everyone if you want to skip, you can. If you don't, then let's just continue. Number 4, Gaku Yashiro, from Boku Dake ga Inamachi, or Erased. One of the best shows of 2015, with the ultimate plot twist in the end. And I'll try not to spoil it that much, but I can't probably keep that promise because I just like to run my mouth. But he is a elementary school teacher, and before we had a dead little girl killing people. What is worse than a little girl killing people? Someone killing little girls and little children in general. And this is what we have. Just out of sheer enjoyment. That's what he does. And in any case like that, of course, people are going to say that the child killers are like the worst people in the world. And they are really bad. They really are. Please don't get me wrong. But basically any killer is wrong. Any killer is wrong. But in this case, killing how many children and getting away with it? Yeah, that's bad. So I kind of like how much he's able to slip under the radar, and how much you actually thought he was helping out the main character, where in reality was investigating him and almost watching him like a game of cat and mouse. And I loved it until the very end. Trust me, the very, very end I loved. And I'm not going to say anything else because you have to see this all play out. It is amazing. Number 3, Yakuran from Ketiko Hitman Reborn. Sorry, I kind of butchered that a little bit in the beginning. But I don't think I've ever gotten to really talk about this series. And I will be doing an anime chat on this series because it is one of my top favorite animes of all time, and you might know that already. So I try to incorporate it in as many things as I can, and I am happy that I can for this one. I am really, really happy, and I try and get people to really watch this show. So, like I said before, this is just pure enjoyment of what I'm about to do. And, so, basically, the series in a whole is about mafias and all that. And, of course, you'll have fights against, like, families and all that, but it's like a comic. It's a action comedy. And, how this character is brought in is, of course, he has his own family, but he's a time-traveling person who will go from different time loops to make sure that he can control everyone. And so far, except for the one line that we are actually watching, every other one he has succeeded at. Every other possibility that the world can give him, every timeline that he could find, he was able to complete it by himself. He rules each one and makes sure that everyone's life is a living hell for his own amusement. He found life to be boring, so he wanted something to do. Got given a power to be able to do everything, and this is what he does. He will use it beyond content, and he loves it till the end of time. So kind in the beginning, marshmallow eating bastard, but he is by far kind of one of the most developed characters I would like to think the show has, where you really see from a standpoint of, okay, this is how he was, this is what he got, this is how it really changed him, this is what he truly wanted. They really developed his own character, or they developed this character so much to really give him life, and to make his own defeat more heartbreaking. It really did, because of knowing what he wanted in life. It made me sad, but at the same time, he fucking deserved it, this fucking prick. And come on, who doesn't like a white-haired guy? Especially with purple eyes. Very, very nice combination. Number 2, Mono Bear / Junko Enoshima from Danganronpa. Another series that I try to get a lot of people to watch, and is also up there with one of my top favorite shows of all time, and a great video game. Now, before I get into the explanation, I am so sorry, I forgot to warn you. Again, like with number 4, I just think that this one's like, but still, it's a big thing. So sorry about that. But like my sister pointed out, of why, if you know about the show, you might also be wondering why I put both of them down. And before I continue, spoiler warning, very big spoiler warning. If you would like to skip, you may. Okay, let's continue. So, the reason why I put the boat down is basically because at first I was just going to do Mono Bear, because main antagonist, funny as hell, really does things to make people tortured and really make them hate their lives. But then I thought, Mono Bear is not real. Junko Enoshima is the controller of this bear. How can I have Mono Bear and not have the person controlling him? So I put Junko Enoshima as well, because one, I loved her split personalities and how they kind of she took each of the characters and made a personality out of them. But how do I not add Junko Enoshima, the ultimate despair, the one who ruined everything, who ruined the world? How can I have the robot that she created and not her? They are a fantastic pair, and I love them to death. And one of my favorite female characters of all time. And I don't know if I had her on the list of female characters, but she is fantastic. And just to see her own demise, that was funny as well. I loved seeing it. I'm sorry, I'm a big horror person, and sometimes there's some horror scenes that I really do laugh at. Hers was so funny. it was funny because of how she reacted to it. And if you would like to know what I mean, go watch it. It's not that long. It really isn't. It now has a dub if you don't like subbed. Really, really good. And now for my number one. And people may have guessed what this is, because either you saw the last video or you're also really trying to think about what villain could I have on this list. Who beats everyone? Well, Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. And, I'm going to try and get through this without giggling my heart out, because I love Hisoka as a character. I love him to death. His sarcasm, his sense of humor, his power. It is amazing. And he is one of the most rounded characters of the whole show, and I just love everything he does. And the reason why he is on this list is, one, his swift moves, where he's doing everything for his own game, but I also like how he doesn't kill anyone without having a need to kill them. He, even though some people will probably go against me on that one and try and argue that point, to me it seems like he will kill anyone who is in his way, but he has to have a reason to, and he does kind of avoid things like that. He wants to be left under the radar as much as he can, and he's very intimidating like that, where he doesn't do anything to anyone. He's there, he looks creepy as hell, and people can tell how strong he is. Another reason why I like him is because of how he acts towards the main characters of Gon, Killua, Leorio, and Kurapika. And, like, he's basically a child stalker for Gon, and wants to make sure that he can go up to his full potential before he fights him, because he knows that it will be fantastic. And Hisoka's basically kind of like a teen, almost. I think he's like around around 20, 19, something like that. He's not that old. But, he basically also kind of looks out for the main character. So he's kind of like an anti-hero in some situations, but you definitely know he is a straight-up villain at all times. But he does try and make sure that Gon is safe so that he can take him down. And for someone to hunt his prey for that long, knowing that he will have to wait, that is determination and guts. So I guess this wraps up the explanation of the villains. And I will probably be doing this again. Probably going back to look at all the top 10 lists that I have. And if I feel like there's a need for an explanation for them, I will do it. Because the reason why I did it for this was because I felt that I never really proved my case for any of the characters. And in any case, if there is a list that I feel that it would need to be for, I will do it. And I will probably do it for my top 10 favorite characters list. I don't know yet. Just because I need to really go back and see it. And if it has to be done, then I will do it. But for now, I really do hope you enjoyed the explanation videos, and if you like it, please let me know. I will do it for everything, or not everything, but mostly everything, and so that I can be straight up and tell you that I like these characters. And this is why I'm not trying to be fake and just say, oh, I like them because they look cool. I like them because of the name. I want to really be able to tell you how much I like a character. So if you have any suggestions for me, please leave them down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.